Welcome everyone. Today we have another Diablo 4 news digest. In this video, we'll go through a lot of information that was revealed by the Diablo 4 developers in the past 24 hours. There had been several interviews that we can see over here, including Game PC, Webverge, and also Game Informers. So there's a lot of information that is floating around about Diablo 4. And I want to provide you guys with all the information that is available, and also a big warning and also reminder from the developers about the new storyline. And also the developers have been warning in several interviews about the extent of the grind in the endgame about Diablo 4. We'll be having a look at this as well, and also the potential to get to level 100 and how difficult it will be. On the second half of the video, we'll also have a look at some of the community information about additional customizations that was not available during the beta, including the lightning source's eyes. And of course, we'll go through some of the community's concerns about trusting Blizzard and also Diablo with the pay-to-win or pay-to-quality of life content. So the second part of the video, we'll talk about this as well. What do the community think about it? And how were the skin charges? And what are the things that the community is most concerned about? Including extra spaces for the stash and also extra character creation slots in Diablo 4. So coming over to our notes. Now, if you guys do want the links to different articles of different research and also different sources, check out the description below for those information. So the first thing we have is a collective summary of information from Warhead. There were several interviews from the developers of Diablo 4. The first one we're going to go through is from Game Informers, and this one does, I guess, create a lot of interest and also confusion. So during the interview with Game Informers, the Diablo 4 developers has revealed that there will be new stories regarding to Diablo 4, and this will also be introduced every 3 months. Now later after this interview, several developers from Diablo 4 have revealed that those particular additional stories is related to the quest lines that will be introducing the new seasonal mechanics for Diablo 4, and it will not be about the main campaign. So you can see here from Rod Ferguson and also a lot of other developers have messaged this. They are talking about the interview that will lead to some misinterpretations of the article. And the highlight is that those quest lines are focused on the main season mechanics, not a new campaign. So a lot of us were kind of happy and really excited about new campaigns every 3 months, but I think that's a little too much for the developers. And this was the first warning or misunderstanding that the developers want to clarify. Now the interview also goes further about the payment for the paid battle pass, and this was stated several times. The battle pass will have a paid version of the battle pass, which we'll talk about in the second half, and this will be $10 USD for every 3 months of the new seasons. The developers during the interview have also revealed the new Nightmare Dungeon system with new affixes. So here 2 of the examples were given. The first one was an invincible lightning pillar which will be chasing players. And does this mean that we want to build more lightning resistance for this particular dungeon? I do think so, right? The second example of the affixes in the Nightmare Dungeon is a particular shade that will be chasing players, obscuring and also making us kind of blind with vision, and also summoning enemies around us. Now this also leads me to think about potential farming method and also grouping enemies method. Maybe we can use those summons for corpse explosion, or maybe we can group them for a special, mechanics that allow us to have more monsters next to us for more benefits. I remember one of the shout with the barbarians, you can go offensive shout with more enemies, you gain more attack power. And those particular mechanics can be used to our advantage if we build correctly. So it's really nice to know those affixes and also to plan against it. And of course, maybe those monsters will also be dropping items. So let me know what you guys think about those particular affixes with the Nightmare Dungeons. I'm quite excited to build different builds for them, and we'll be looking into farming, legendaries and also uniques in the game. Now the final highlight from the first interview will be about Helltide zones. And it was mentioned that there will be multiple Helltide zones that will be available in different versions of Diablo 4 boss encounters. There was a particular article over here to talk about Maggot Queen's appearance in Diablo 4 and as one of the lesser evils. And the article particularly mentioned that there will be a rare appearance in the Diablo 4 as one of the bosses, and maybe one of the powerful bosses or mini bosses. So here this also comes back to that we may be introducing or facing different enemies in Diablo 4 which are like mini bosses for the Helltide. And this can become quite interesting, because as some of you guys know, sometimes the bosses or different family of monsters will provide extra drop rate for certain items. And if those drop rate are for certain item pieces, this can be very good for farming uniques. because uniques will be fixed with item categories like weapons, helmet, etc. And if we know which monsters to farm, this can give us better rates. Now coming over to the next interview from Diablo 4 developers from Invent. Now the highlight over here is that the developers have stated that Reno system and also Reno rewards will reset with each new seasons. And this will include potion charges, skill points, paragon points, maximum orbital charges, and also a lot of items that is related to Reno. And I guess this is somewhat understandable, because those items, if earned at the early start of the game, could make a player way too powerful, and this does take away a system in the game. The developers have stated that the Reno system in new seasons will be targeted and also designed to be less repetitive, so players doesn't have to do the same questing and everything all over again, and hopefully they do this correctly so we don't feel the repetitiveness of the Renos. Now the second highlight, which we have talked about this in the previous videos, is that the developers have also stated that the Altar of Lilith will not be resetted with the start of new seasons. And this of course was the intention to help players to speed up their process with additional stats and also attributes that is gained from Altar of Lilith. And I do think this is a good system. Knowing that the Altar of Lilith will not change positions and will not have unique mechanics, once we do it once or twice, we really become repetitive going through this every season for every 3 months. And let me know what you guys think about this. Previously we thought the Reno might not reset, but now the Reno will reset with new seasons. But the Altar of Lilith will not be resetting. Now the next interview with the developers is from Wagtech, I cannot pronounce the names. So here the highlight is that the developer have stated that maximum paragon points will take a long time to grind into the end game. And yes guys, this will be a persistent theme from the developers that they have starting to hint and also start to suggest that this is a warning. If you want to get maxed out with your characters, it's going to be very hard to get maximum paragon level. The developers have stated that the cap of the progression in Diablo 4 is intended so that players don't have an unlimited progression like Diablo 3 with its paragon levels and infinite grinding, right? Now the developers have also further stated that the skill tree of the characters from level 1 to level 50 is intended to help the players to understand and also to build different builds. But the paragon level board is aimed to expand the ideas and also the build from the players and from the existing skill tree. So it is served more like a bonus to an existing build rather than an ultimate goal for the build, like a capstone. So this again, the whole article for me, it feels like the developers are warning the players that if you want to rush to level 100, it might not be a good idea. And the developers have also said this might not even be achievable in one season. So 3 months you might not be able to get all your paragon points. Let me know what you guys think about this. This might be a very subtle hint that Diablo 4 might take longer than what we expected to finish max out one character. Now the final interview from the developers are from PC gamers. Now the highlight from this interview is that Diablo 4 is not a group MMORPG. The central theme of Diablo 4 will stay with action RPG, and I think this is very important. For me as a gamer, I have played MMORPG before, but I really want the feel for Diablo with action RPG. And the developers have restated that all the classes can deal damage. It's not a holy trinity like MMORPGs with priest, tank and also DPS, which is a good thing, because most of the time I'll be playing Diablo 4 solo, and sometimes even if I play with friends, we all want to do damage, right? So we don't really need like 3 people, 4 people. Just solo playing is really good for me. Now in the interview it goes on to reveal that the seasonal journeys and also seasonal passes with all the quests available in each of the seasons will take the players around 80 hours to complete. And knowing that there will be 3 months per season, what we can expect is it will take a player on average 1 hour a day to play the seasons to finish everything in the seasons and also exclusive rewards. Now of course we won't be playing 1 hour a day, right? In the first week we'll probably play like 16 hours a day. Now again guys, one highlight over here is the developers from different interviews are stating and also hinting that it will take us a long time to get to level 100 for all the paragon points. So this is again a hint and maybe a warning for the players who want to rush for level 100. And if you're planning a build, maybe plan to level 70, 80 or 90, level 100 can be very difficult for all the paragon points. Now coming over to the second half of the video. So here we'll go through some of the community information and also concerns about Diablo 4. The first one we have is actually a particular post from Philly Uking over here about the open beta and also closed beta customization that is not available. So what he meant over here is, if we have a look at this particular Diablo 4 official gameplay showcase from GameSpot around the time of 2022, you can see their customizations for the sources and also different customizations that might not have been available during the open beta. And this does get us thinking, right? Is this a potential for additional character characterization at the launch of the game? And this is comparing with the open beta. Now, the second option could be that maybe players can earn different customizations and also different skins within the seasons and also the cash shop. I don't want to think about the cash shop too much, but we'll talk about it very soon. So this comes to the point of the concern with community, whether the skins, cosmetics, will they be mostly free or will they be paid, and how much would we be paying for it? So coming over to this particular poll, and this is actually a poll over here started on Reddit from KickAtDang over here about the concerns of what do we think about Blizzard as a community and how will things proceed. For me, I voted, I think they are honest with the words, everything will be purely cosmetic. And you can see a lot of the majority of the community were thinking about or worrying about the pay-to-win content that is quality of life, including extra stash spaces and also character spaces and other things related to Diablo 4. So here we have some notes that we want to have a look. The biggest concern, of course, is what is going to be in the cash shop for Diablo 4 and how can those become pay to win. Even though the developers have stated many times those won't become pay to win, but sometimes just looking great with your skins makes you feel awesome and maybe skill animations will be better, right? Just a joke. So we have seen the teasers and also reveals with multiple skins and also sets with Diablo 4. And of course, currently we do not know how much are those skins and also cosmetics, and what will be considered to be purchasable in the cash shop and also, kind of unavailable to the players that are not paying. Would the customization like here be a free for all players? And how much would those paid cosmetics be available for the players in the cash shop? Would they be costing $10, $15, or $20, or $30? It would be really absurd to cost over anything over $30 in my opinion, because the game itself is $80 and every season will come with new skins. Imagine paying for over $30 for one skin for one season and have to pay for more skins. So this is to be debated, and hopefully, if you guys remember earlier, the developers have stated it will cost $10 for the premium pass, and hopefully the cash shop will not become excessively expensive if collectors want all the skins in the game. Now here, the additional concerns from the community is also raised about the extra stash spaces. At the moment during open beta of Diablo, this is showing that we can unlock the open stashes with gold. And this is a really good system, because although gold is a very important resource in the game, we still have 100,000 gold for the first unlock of the stash and 200,000 for the second stash. This is quite important because I recall games like Path of Exile, I just don't have enough stash and I have to pay for the stashes eventually, even though I really don't like to pay for games, right? And because Diablo 4 is not free to play like Path of Exile, we really don't want to see that us as players paying extra for the stashes that is essential in the game as the gameplay mechanics. And it is a good direction. At the moment, from what I see in the beta, it is definitely a good direction to use gold instead of paying real money for the stashes, because Diablo 4 is not a free-to-play game. Now the second thing is, they haven't mentioned about this, the character creation slots was capped at 10 slots for Diablo during the open beta. Well, we'll be getting more slots, especially with new seasons. If they don't give us more slots, and with each of the seasons we'll run out of characters, right? And I'm sure they will give us more slots. But exactly how this will be done, and will this be a form of payment, we're not sure. Hopefully not. And finally, the players have raised questions about having pets in the game, and I think sometimes the developers have mentioned about pets, but not directly and nothing solid. If I get more information on pets, I'll let you guys know. Because what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for auto-looting and also auto-filtering for the loots. Now I know auto-filtering will be too good, right? I remember there's different mods in different games that allows you to see different colors of the loot, so you actually go for higher grade of items. For Diablo 4, this can be going for secret, or maybe for ancestral grade of items, or maybe looking for certain unique pieces. No, We don't know, right? So those are debatable things and also concerns from the community that we really do want to look at. And if you guys do want to vote, you can come over here for the post to vote to share your thoughts about what might be happening with Diablo 4 and what is your biggest concern. Now, before you go, and if you guys didn't know, we have a new YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and check out the behind the scenes and also fun clips and also more stories about us. And then you get to know me a little more personally instead of just reading the news and also the games, right? So I want to share a little bit more with you guys. So make sure you check this channel out if you're interested about Matt and also Uni. She's really funny too, and she's really shy. So I want to give her a surprise and do a shout out for the new channel to get some subscribers. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.